should say. We'll have a really good crowd on semifinal Saturday tomorrow for that one. There's confirmation of that. And then Fognini Gasquet will follow this match. Djokovic Nieminen will take the court after that. Youngest man left in the tournament, Grigor Dimitrov, 21 years of age. He will turn 22 in just a few weeks on May 16th. Best season he's had on the tour this year, making the final in Brisbane to start the year. But the ranking, as Arvin touched on a moment ago, is going to rise. His Emirates ATP ranking right now is 34. His highest until now was in March at 31, but he's going to get up to at least around 27. And if he could somehow find a way to beat Nadal, he could be in the top 25.
Yeah, easier said than done, though.
Yeah.
Dimitrov, I think, he's been playing very well all week and scored a good win in the earlier round. Second round against Janko Tipsarevic. Good scout that was. Just there is results just to show. Xavier Melis, the veteran now, and the result I just talked about, number 8 seed Janko Tipsarevic and Florian Mayer. That's good to see. He backed up that good win against Tipsarevic with a good solid performance against Mayer, showing that he has got some experience, not to over celebrate his win. Back down to business.
Well, this is going to be, as I mentioned a moment ago, the ultimate test for Dimitrov in his young career, playing Nadal on clay. Because he is the king of clay, no doubt about it. Nadal is king of Monte Carlo, too. He's won it a record 8 straight times. But aside from his success here, this is the best start to his career of any season. Going 19-1 in a year where he wasn't even sure he was going to be able to play. His ranking at the moment, number 5.
1 minute, 3 minutes.
But the thing about Nadal, when he gets into this clay court season, people expect his ranking to rise a lot, Arvin, but he has so many points to defend each year, so it's hard for him to gain points this time of year.
Yeah, exactly. It's just trying to tread water ranking wise. It's been so dominant, as you say, 8 times here, and looking for another title in Paris, and you know, really isn't I suppose you can look beyond when he's on form. His results this week pretty straightforward. I think a little harsher scoreline there for Philipp Kohlschreiber. Played a lot better than that, the 2 and 4, but just shows you Nadal, you know, just able to step up when he needed to in that match. Just for the record, I've played once before, Rotterdam 2009, and Dimitrov able to get a set there, but losing 2 1/3 in the end. Slightly faster conditions that week. Mohamed Layani in the chair for this one.
Look at Uncle Tony. He and agent. Girlfriend's come over from Spain. Whole family's here, actually. I don't know, I haven't seen his sister, but his parents are here.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Very tight-knit family, the Nadal family. It's good to see. Seems to me he's had a very normal upbringing. Dimitrov, a guy that the other players are actually starting to take a lot of notice of. They've known about him for a long time, but he's finally starting to live up to the potential that so many people felt he had. And he's young, but I feel like I've been hearing about him for a long time. He's only 21.
Yeah, he hit the scenes at a very early age, and I think to the detriment of him, I think people expected so much from him so early on, and I think he felt the pressure. His team, Dimitrov, Mikael Tillström from the Good to Great Academy in Sweden. His coach this week, that academy run by Magnus Norman, who's going to be working with Stan Wawrinka very shortly. So what a nice group of players
yeah,
for those guys to coach.
It's turning into the hot place to train out of.
Yeah, just going back to my point with Dimitrov, just so many people expecting such big things from him, and I think that just got to him a little bit. Just took a while for him to find his feet, and certainly this year has, I feel it's the year that Dimitrov started to make his move up the rankings. And this is certainly a match he can have a go at. He's got nothing to lose against this man, Nadal. He's owned this court for the last 8 years. He can go out and swing freely.
Second quarterfinal of the Monte Carlo Rolex Masters, Grigor Dimitrov and Rafael Nadal. The winner will face Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, who was a 3-set winner in our previous match. Arvin, you want to guess at how many more 3-setters we'll have today between our 3 quarterfinalists?
Yeah, I mean, there's the Fognini and Gasquet match. That could be an absolute classic. Jarkko Nieminen, he was exhausted at the end of his 3-set match against Del Potro yesterday, and it will be interesting to see how Djokovic is after his match yesterday, having problems with the ankle once again.
Yeah, I think physically that match is going to be interesting. Well, Rafa has so many fans around the world. 8-time champion here, 8 years in a row. Nadal's on a 44-match win streak here. And it's Dimitrov on his favorite surface, taking on the best in the world on it. That's nice. And supposedly we're going to see a lot more of that during the clay court season, Arvin. Nadal has said he's trying to end points quicker than he has in years past to protect his body.
He's adapted well over the years. He's identified areas of his game that he needs to improve, and that's definitely one.
Genza.
And he changed his serve a couple of seasons ago. He felt he wasn't getting enough free points, went to a slightly heavier racket just to get a little bit more pop on the ball. That seemed to work okay for him. Now it's a tactic he's going to employ just to save the body.
Miss-hit there from Nadal. Talking to Nick about this earlier in the week. Arvin, love to get your theory on it. Back in the States, some of the former players I work with, especially Jimmy Arias, will say that he thinks a drop shot is an effective shot against Nadal. That if you watch him, he really doesn't handle that short ball that well. And that was a case in point there. He tends to do the same thing over and over with a drop shot. The problem is getting yourself in position to hit one.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that as he rifles a backhand down the line. It doesn't come natural to him, the kind of the ball that kind of comes very low to him after having sprinted to the net. You need soft hands. Very comfortable from the baseline. Court position as well. Nadal's having to run from such a way back. He does play quite far behind that baseline, so he's running up to it full sprint and having to put the brakes on as well and play the shot can be a bit tricky.
Big serve. That's one thing Dimitrov's done well this week. That's his 16th ace of the week. It's number 3 in that category here in Monte Carlo. And a good start for the young Bulgarian. Speaks English as well as I do, though.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Pretty much no accent.
Very close, you know. Try a little bit quicker to the baseline.
It comes to what, 25?
24, 24. Yeah, okay. So very close there. Thank you.
Early warning there from Mohammed. Right up to the line there, isn't he, with the amount of time taken between serves, between points, should I say. Just being told the average was 23 seconds, 6 points.
Service, Nadal.
I admired Nadal. I have to admit, I was critical of him in the past at how long he would take and how long the matches would take. I was afraid people were going to get tired of it, just trying to watch tennis because they all lasted so long. But with this new emphasis on the time violation, he's been one of the leaders, I think, in adjusting his routines. He's put towels in the back of the courts so that he can get one on each side. He's always very aware of how long he's taking. He'll ask the umpire. And that gets, it kind of is what you were saying earlier, how Nadal changes his game. He's very aware of what he needs to do to adapt, and he figures, hey, if that's going to be a reality this year, instead of fighting it, I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's just generally, I think the rule has been accepted very well by all players. They're aware that something needs to be changed, and it's got to be led by the top.
I guess we shouldn't be too surprised at Nadal's willingness to adapt. When I remember I think it was after he won his first French Open, he made the comment that the Grand Slam he really always dreamed of winning was Wimbledon. And sure enough, he changed his game to make that dream come true. More than once.
Well, I heard even during that tournament, he was thinking ahead for Wimbledon and was practicing his serve towards the end of that week, bearing in mind that's the type of serve I'm going to need for Wimbledon. So he was still involved in a tournament, still thinking about what he needed to improve for the next. That's a world-class point there from Dimitrov. Talk about the use of that slice backhand. This one knifing it short, drawing in Nadal. Still had to make the pass though. What an angle. A round of applause, appreciation there from Nadal. Too good.
Well, you mentioned the the match they played a few years ago. It was a hard court, but it was a 3-setter. I mean, something about his game causes Nadal problems. Another good combination. Dimitrov with 4 winners, 0 unforced errors so far in the first 2.5 games. That's a good start. Perfect, in fact. And I think he's seeing this match as more than just a measuring stick. He looks like he believes he can win.
He's got everything to gain, nothing to lose from this match.
13-15.
When you come into a match with that type of mentality, you often play your best tennis.
Well, you know you can't get behind Nadal on clay. I mean, it's just like climbing Mount Everest, especially on this surface. Such a tough task. Well, I bragged on him, no unforced errors, and he's committed 2 in this game, his first 2. Where there's just so
30-14.
thin margins here, so little room to make a mistake against Nadal. And as perfect as he was coming into this game, you have to maintain that level of perfection. That's what's so tough about playing Nadal on clay.
Yeah, he'll make you red line in all areas.
It's break point, our first of the match. And there it is. Nadal finally getting some errors out of Dimitrov. He had no unforced errors coming to that game, and he ends it with 4. As Nadal takes full advantage, grabs the first break of the match, 2-1. Over on Quarter Prince today, we've got a doubles quarterfinal action. The Bryan brothers about to square off against Meltzer and Pays. Rafael Nadal sitting here having negotiated the first break of the match. He leads 2-1.
Time.
Nadal has never lost the Masters 1000 quarterfinal on clay. His last quarterfinal loss in a quarterfinal was in 2005. That was just any quarterfinal.
S'il vous plaît, les joueurs sont prêts. Asseyez-vous rapidement. Merci.
He's never dropped a set before the semis since he started dominating here in 2005 when he's won those 8 straight titles. He's lost 6 total sets during this 44-match win streak. But this is not the place to be late to your seat.
Zero, 15 love.
Once he gets hold of the point, Nadal, it's so tough to wrestle that momentum away.
You almost just, I mean, you almost have to just have the most aggressively perfect match of your life when you're gonna, if you're gonna beat him on this surface where you can just hit him off the court. It just doesn't happen very often.
And I think being single-handed as well as opponent is a real disadvantage because it's just too easy for you to kind of switch and defend with the slice. The double-handers, Djokovic, Burdick, Murray, you know, they're able to just kind of keep stepping in on our backhand side. It's just a little bit more solid with the two hands on the racket.
So you think it's more difficult for the one-hander to dictate play on a clay court with the one-hander?
Yeah, without question. Without question, it's too easy for you to be drawn out of position and give Nadal just that extra couple of split seconds to regain his court position and keep hitting offensively. You have to be knifing that slice so well to stand a chance. And then plus, you get a better court position if you're a double-hander as well. You can play a little closer to the baseline, take it earlier. Single-handers just don't have that strength.
There's a short backhand that Nadal deals with effectively. Nadal looking for his 20th match win of the season today. And Nadal is starting to distance himself from Dimitrov. It was a good start for the Bulgarian, but then I think the reality of what it takes has hit him hard. And you can see he's pushing, going for a lot more earlier in the point than he did to start the match. And that's about the only way he's winning points right now is when Nadal misses. And that's just his third unforced error. So Nadal continues to run away with this set. It was a very good opening 3 games before Nadal finally got the break and seems to be off and running towards Tsonga in the semifinals. Nadal up 2 breaks here in the first set with a 4-1 lead.
Well, it's just being really solid from the baseline is Rafa, just what you would expect. He isn't going for anything too special. He's talked about how many RPM he gets on that ball a couple of days ago on that forehand side and clearing the net nowhere near the lines. Just the way the ball reacts off that surface. It's a little too hot to handle for Dimitrov at the moment. And as you said, Sam, earlier, it just forces you to go for a little bit more, just to push the envelope. And in turn, you're going to hit a few more errors. Dimitrov definitely playing outside of his comfort zone.
Rafael Nadal on this cool, cloudy day, starting to take control of this set. Up 2 breaks now. Who do you think can beat Nadal by play right now? I mean, who's the leading contender, Arvin?
Well, I fit Novak Djokovic most definitely. I think the way he plays, his style of game, the way he moves, he definitely do it. We talked about how his backhand is just such a key shot. His backhand down the line, the way he can be aggressive on that second serve. So I hope we get the treat over this clay court period. See those guys battle it out a few times.
That's good.
I do think so. I do think that Djokovic does need the slightly slower conditions. We saw at Roland Garros last year how he's getting the better of Nadal when it started to rain. And the ball's got a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Nadal unable to hit the winners and
That's true.
dictate the points.
That could be interesting this weekend if Djokovic is fully fit, because it is supposed to rain some. When Nadal hasn't missed a first serve, and these are the first 2 points he's lost on serve. He does have that 1 break cushion.
Nothing but defending from Dimitrov in this rally. He had one chance to pull the trigger, and he made it.
So Dimitrov finally has earned a chance to get one of the breaks back. And this lets us have a peek into the heart of this young man. He is still fighting very much against a superior opponent so far. It was just the first serve he's missed.
No mistake that time. Nadal with that forehand and give Dimitrov the chance to get a racket on that backhand.
Still break point. And there's Nadal's first ace. So the plot thickens here a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We've still got an entertaining set going on as Nadal gives back one of the two breaks. Now I'm still looking at his service numbers though, and he's made 13 of 14 first serves. He has an ace, but yet he gets broken.
Where statistics can be a little bit deceptive. Was Dimitrov able to do in that game to break him? Well, saw one bit of a brilliance. And Rafa just a couple unforced errors. That's all it takes.
Box.
Well, Dimitrov, we've heard about him for a long time. Of course, he was compared to Federer early in his career, baby fed, but he's that type of player that, even like a Gasquet, that just seems to have a lot of different shots he could use, a lot of different options, and that can be to his detriment sometimes. He's got to learn to manage his talent, and that's been the criticism of him sometimes as he gets distracted.
Yeah, it's all about shot selection. It's sometimes about playing the percentages more often than not. You know, no question you would probably hit the best shot in the match, but if you're hitting 10 of the worst shots as well, that's no good.
Monta, 30.
Oh, that is pinpoint accurate.
Talked about improvements in his game. That's certainly one shot he's improved so much over the years. Is the forehand down the line. Just has this ability to curl it back in at the last second.
And another chance for Nadal to break, to go back in front by 2 breaks. Well, Dimitrov has made an impression, but that's not good enough. And Nadal will serve for the opening set as he reclaims the 2-break lead, 5-2.
Well, he definitely seems to be moving just fine. Nadal. It's going to be a real uphill battle for Dimitrov. Just so tough to get any free points from Nadal. The way he defends and what he asks of you from the baseline to get the ball past him, you just got to hit career shots to hit winners. Dimitrov just hasn't been able to keep up that standard long enough. There's been signs of it here and there, but to do it for a prolonged period is probably just, at the moment, just a little too tough for a 21-year-old.
Time.
Rafael Nadal broken in his last service game, but restored order by getting that insurance break again, and now will serve for the opening set. Again, he's only lost 6 total sets in his 44-match win streak here, as he's trying to close in on his 9th straight title here in Monte Carlo.
Love 15. Up 15-all.
Well, as we approach the final weekend, you always see famous people in the crowd. There's Caroline Wozniacki there with her father, and Rory's actually, Rory McIlroy there, seated next to her father, Peter. Rory and Wozniacki, residents here.
On Kins. 30-15.
So you were telling me they had to extend the driving range here?
Yeah, just mentioned it in the last match. Me and Nick did.
Okay.
Yeah, to extend the range because he could only use his 3-wood.
Set points now for Nadal. We have resorted to talking about golf 15. During a tennis match because Nadal is so good.
Foregone conclusion, isn't it? At the moment, looks that way anyway.
But Dimitrov can play now. I'm looking forward to watching him progress.
Opening
set to the king of clay, Rafael Nadal, in 31 minutes wraps up the first set, 6-2.
6-2.
And Uncle Tony's still looking for ways to improve.
Pretty much a perfect set from Rafael Nadal there. Was a close encounter the first couple of games, but after that really took hold of the match, and the numbers would suggest that he's cruising right now. 95% first serves, winning a lot of points behind that, and has won every single point behind his second serve. That's very interesting to see. A few unforced errors from Gregor Dimitrov, 12 in total, but I think that's a little unfair in the fact that he's having to really go for his shots today, and you know, when the ball's on, he's having to go for winners. So in a way, they are forced somewhat. But Dimitrov's got to keep his head up here. Try and get himself back into this match. Needs a good start at the start of the second.
Time.
Good start for Rafael Nadal in terms of the stats in this match. And more importantly, just out-competing Dimitrov, showing him what it would take to win. Marvin Palmer sliding out. Nick Lester jumping in the booth with me right now. Nadal's reign doesn't appear to be in any jeopardy at the moment. He won almost twice as many points in that first set. But here's a guy to keep your eye on, because if he learns to manage all that talent, Dimitrov is, I think, destined for the top 10 at some point. That's a good shot. Freshly swept court. Nadal's going to walk over and check out the mark.
40.
So what's your impression of this young man, Nick?
Oh, I like him, Sam. I like him a lot. I think he's got a lot of game. I do think.
First game, second set.
You talk about an aura of a player, Sam, on a particular court. There's no doubt, obviously, that Nadal has such a huge aura coming on. For somebody like Dimitrov at 21 to come on and play Nadal on this particular court, I'm not just talking about on clay, I'm talking about here specifically. Everyone talks about his record, everyone knows his record on this here.
Right.
And I do think that there is a little bit of that, you know, for someone as young as him, or no disrespect, but I think there has to be a little bit of that, doesn't there? Do you know what I mean? Just before he steps on court, and you know, whether that's a factor in his shot selection at times, or just felt, I did see a little bit of the first set, not a lot, but I just felt at times he was just trying to swing a little bit, trying to hit winners maybe a touch too early in the rally, and it's difficult to formulate any kind of game plan against Nadal on clay, but I think that must be a factor, the way, the aura that he has himself on this court.
He finally got the forehand. Couldn't do anything with it. You talk about aura, Nick. I think Dimitrov, we see a lot of young players come out and have success, but he seems like one of those guys that also has a bit of an aura that's going to be very good.
Definitely. Definitely, Sam.
The real thing.
Und 0. 30 love.
Just have more work just away from this match. I just had a chat with one of the Sky Sports team here, and they just told me that they had an interview with Marian Vida this morning, and he told them that Novak Djokovic has actually dislocated a bone in his ankle.
I saw that.
Which is interesting.
Of course, Djokovic is supposed to play Nieminen in the final quarter today. Good point from Dimitrov.
Excellent point. Good little bunt. Good well to cover the net well here.
On 15. 30-15.
A little gamble. I wonder if Nadal will actually hit that. He went with the sort of chopper grip almost as if to flick it. I wonder if he just had time to hit it, but chose just to take a bit of pace off.
Dimitrov was practically back in the fence at one point during that point, and was able to come up and get control of it. And he's been able to compete with Nadal. He just hasn't been able to show any signs he can win.
Stop.
Mohamed Layani saying that Dimitrov's shot was out in the middle of the rally.
It is. Just missed.
So Nadal will win the point and have game point as a result, 40-30. And a good call by both Nadal and Mohamed Layani.
It's just a bit ambitious from there. And you can understand why he's trying to take that ball down the line, but
One game on.
Here's our Emirates ATP rankings factoid. Nadal's finished in the top 5 the past 8 years. Still things a lot more impressively than that. But he's been consistent.
15 love.
It's pretty amazing when that stat really says, oh yeah, well, of course. Top 5 for 8 straight years. Good close from Dimitrov. He's 5 of 6 when he comes forward in this match.
30 love.
you kind of take those numbers for granted now, don't we, Sam? Which I think actually makes what Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray have been able to do even more remarkable. I think the way that as high as Federer and Nadal set the bar, which they did, I think what those guys have been able to do to say, no, we don't want to rest here, we don't want to settle for 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Makes it that much more honourable, and that's the wrong word, but respectable.
No, I agree.
Dimitrov.
Dimitrov holds serve. And he's staying just in front of Nadal here in the second set. Hasn't gotten broken yet. He was broken 3 times in the first set.
Oh, well, can I have another white one, please?
I'm here practicing this morning with Fredrik Nielsen. That was Dimitrov, of course, the Scandinavian who works with in Sweden. It's been 6 weeks in Sweden in December, late November, early December. He said it was a bit dark at times in the winter there, but it was okay. Dimitrov trying to get used to Sweden in December. Could be a bleak, I would imagine. No disrespect. It's a fantastic country, but not too much sunlight around that time of year.
Caroline Wozniacki and her family, boyfriend, enjoying the tennis today here at the Monte Carlo Country Club. Saw Bjorn Borg here yesterday. Good crowd on hand today. Our coolest, cloudiest day so far here at the Monte Carlo Country Club, but it's not dampening the spirits of those here to cheer on Rafa. Seeing the tournament's youngest in the draw, Dimitrov, against the greatest champion in the history of this tournament.
Ambitious from there.
15 love.
Drop shot. Such an effective shot on clay, but you've got to make sure you've manoeuvred your opponent out of court. You haven't done that. Just trying to cut it a little bit too fine.
For Dimitrov, what do you think that Swedish influence is going to do for him? Where do you think that can improve his game?
30 love.
Saw Tillström here earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus Norman obviously is heading up that academy. He's ironically now working with Wawrinka, but I think they've got some, you know, the guys have been on tour for a long time. There's a lot of experience at that academy, isn't there, in terms of the coaching setup?
I think the Swedish temperament too could benefit Dimitrov, because he does have that tendency to wander. Well, we talked about it in the first set, the fact that the drop shot can be effective against Nadal. He doesn't always handle it the best.
15.
Well, that's the craft that having a good slice backhand can help you with, can't it? That sort of shot there. So used to hitting that, you can change the pace so well.
Dimitrov started the first set out with 4 winners and no unforced errors. He's got 5 here to start the set. Nadal still looking for his first. Hasn't been as aggressive as he was in the first set. That was aggressive. First winner too here in the second set.
45. 40-15.
Immediately recognised the ball. Was just a fraction short, didn't he? Knew Dimitrov had a lot of ground to cover as well from here. Look, it's a fair bit to make up. Couldn't quite pull off the miraculous squash shot. It's a little cooler today, isn't it? So conditions will be a little heavier. You know, often people ask me about Rafa, and they say, is it better when it's hot and sunny and the clay courts are bouncing around, or is he better in these conditions when it's a little bit heavier and a little bit thicker, if you like, a little more mud-like? And I think he's probably better when it's warmer.
That would be because he can hit so much spin.
Yeah, I think because it's warm, obviously the courts are a bit harder, Sam, and I think it just rears up off the surface a bit more, doesn't it? That's a good example of, you know, where maybe on even that's going to get up even higher when it's a hot day.
Yeah.
You know, this ball is seriously jumping around. Just here when it's a bit cooler, it just deadens it. And I use the word mud; it's the wrong word, but it's a bit thicker, the clay, and just sort of digs in a bit. But to be honest, he could probably play in snow and still win, so it won't make any difference.
Well, remember last year at the French on that heavy day, Djokovic was getting the better of him until they came back with better weather. Wow.
Some read, some defense.
Up 15.
Tried to hit it as hard as he possibly could, but little did he know there was a Mallorcan who was just waiting around the corner to sting him.
Dimitrov, up 30.
Indefensible. Best forehand up the line in the game.
Genstrom. 15-30.
Got a little quiz question for you, actually.
Okay.
We've had one of those for a while, have we?
For me or our
For
viewers?
anyone. Anyone.
I thought you were talking to me. Gosh.
Well, you can play as well, Sam. It's not exclusive. That's too good.
Nice.
Dimitrov, of course, a Bulgarian now in the upper echelons of the game. He was the last Bulgarian male to be in the top 100 in the world. The last Bulgarian male to be in the top 100 on the ATP rankings. Before Dimitrov. Tweet us at Nick Lester or at Sam B. Gore. Tough one.
Dimitrov from the southern part of Bulgaria.
Oh.
Wow. Well, Dimitrov's starting to find that same success he had early to start the match.
40-30.
A 100-mile-an-hour forehand. Dimitrov's doing a better job here managing his game in the second set. He's hanging with Nadal. Still looking for the chance to break, however. We're on serve through 5 games.
Impressive maturity being shown by Dimitrov here. You know, a lot of people in the game, as I'm sure you've been saying, think very, very highly of this guy. Always going to be sort of compared to sort of Bernie Tomic. I think those two are really, they were only two, of course, teenagers in the top 100 for a while. Follow one another's path. Different sort of personalities, though. Tomic lost early here this week. So I'll take you that question about 4 or 5 minutes ago about the highest Bulgarian, the last Bulgarian male to be in the top 100 before Grigor Dimitrov.
Time.
A couple of people have got in touch with me on the Twitter account. It was Orlin Stanoychev. He's ranked 96 in the world. That is high. Well done to Hot Dogs 69.69. Impressive.
That's very impressive. And that was quick, too. Different view today. But pretty much the same result when Nadal steps out on the court.
Of course, the Maleva sisters, famous players, aren't they, from Bulgaria, all 3 of them. They have an academy in Sofia. Some recovery from Nadal just to get that ball into play, but Dimitrov, a couple of really impressive strikes.
Well, he's starting to find his game here against Nadal, and I think this speaks to his increased maturity. He has not given up on this match. Nadal did not handle that point all that well.
Not at all. Good signs for Dimitrov these. He's beginning to trouble Nadal here. Drawing him off the baseline. Look at that with that low slice. We've seen that a lot of times this week. We saw it especially against Janko Tipsarevic in his first match.
And it's been an effective play. Nadal a little too passive up there in that point. And Nadal's just been given his first time violation warning. Next one would be the loss of a serve. See and feel his disappointment.
30-40. 30-14.
And now Nadal is in some real trouble here. He has not been able to assert himself like he did in the first set. He's only produced 5 winners. And a big chance for Dimitrov.
Hit. Use.
So the break point evaporates. Well, Nick, Nadal's tightening up a little bit. The telltale sign is when he overtops that forehand, and he's doing that now. When that forehand's dropping below the service line, that's when Nadal's a little nervous. Feels pressure.
No doubt he's growing in belief. Bulgarian.
Dimitrov has the break. After the way that first set went, I thought this would be quick. I am really impressed with the way he's come out and competed here in the second set. I mean, he was a beaten man at the end of that first set, got broken 3 times, but has kept plugging away.
Me too, Sam. This has been a really, really good response.
Of 15.
This is the true test, isn't it? When you get ahead,
yeah.
Suddenly you're starting to think about other things, perhaps. Can't let those thoughts creep into your head. Just a couple of errors here.
Can you believe that?
15-30.
He makes that shot 99 out of 100 times. Again, Nadal's feeling some pressure here. The Bulgarian's getting to him.
Just great defense from Dimitrov. Wasn't the best early in the rally, was it? That little dink of his, maybe he played a bit early, but look at the wheels on him here. This one here, Nadal had time for this one. Dropped a bit low, but that wasn't quite good enough. And in this form, Dimitrov's going to make you pay.
10th winner of the set. That's twice as many as Nadal. Nadal's chances of breaking right back starting to get slimmer. Uncle Tony, he looked like he still was seeing some signs for improvement at the end of that first set. He was chatting up Carlos Costa animatedly. Well, Dimitrov consolidates, and he's one game away from a final set. The Dimitrov camp obviously happy with what they see. Fans are stunned here in Monte Carlo.
Well, losing sets in Monte Carlo is rather akin to winning in the casino in Monte Carlo for Rafa Nadal. Doesn't happen very often. Happens occasionally. It's more often than not you come out on the losing end. So this is why there's a bit of a hum around here. A few Bulgarian flags in the crowd I can see. It's behind the Dimitrov.
Well, perhaps a face of the future, Grigor Dimitrov. A lot of people feel destined to be a top 10 player at some point. But today he's starting to definitely show signs of that. As Rafael Nadal, who's only lost 6 sets in this 44-match win streak, is on the verge of dropping one here. Dimitrov is a game away from winning a set against Nadal and giving us our second straight final set. Tsonga survived a 3-setter against Wawrinka earlier today. Keep in mind, Nadal won that first set, broke Dimitrov 3 times, won almost twice as many total points in the first set. But it's been a complete turnaround by the Bulgarians here. And Nadal is now in the strange situation of serving to stay in a set here in Monte Carlo. Got a good bounce.
worth relaying those players who have taken sets off Nadal here. There's not many of them. Murray was the last man to do it in 2011 here. Prior to that, it was Djokovic in the final in 09. Federer and Gaudio did it in 06. And Gasquet and Correa did it in 05. Only players on his run.
Well, the big question is, does Dimitrov have what it takes to close this out? You see a lot of the guys get to the stage of winning a set against a top player and then they just can't close it out. We should find out in the next game.
Wasn't a lot of conviction in that forehand, was there?
He's missing a lot in this set. Just seems apprehensive. It's his 11th unforced error of the set. He's almost doubled his total from the first set.
Wow. 40-30.
Wonder what it is, Nick. I mean, Nadal is clearly feeling threatened at the moment by Dimitrov. He isn't hitting with the same authority and confidence he hit with in the first set. I'm sure that man's trying to figure it out too.
Your service.
Yeah, he was up 40 love. I was talking about Dimitrov trying to serve it out. Well, he may break Nadal here to win the set.
12 unforced errors in the set. Double what he achieved in the first from Nadal.
You don't get timeouts in tennis. Nadal could use one right now to regroup. Oh, come on. Everything is going the 21-year-old's way. And that gives him set point. Set point denied.
Use. Avantage. Nadal.
Of all the names you'd throw out there that would have a chance at ending Nadal's 44-match win streak, I don't think Dimitrov would have been one of them. And if he wins this set, he's got a chance. Nadal's level has dropped inexplicably, and Dimitrov has surged.
No doubt conditions are helping Dimitrov here as well. Look at the way this ball just doesn't quite get enough of the surface. Look, you can see there, it doesn't jump quite up as much as it might do, and it allows Dimitrov time to get there and make it difficult for him.
It's cool, it's cloudy, it's humid. That is perfect. The strategy has worked.
It's like a chess game, this rally. Look at this. Draw you in, cover the line. What a volley this was as well. And still had plenty to do, didn't he? Off the low volley. Played it with enough pace to get it out of the way of the Spaniard.
And another set point.
Égalité. Use.
Well, the miss hit was just enough to throw Nadal off. Third set point coming for Dimitrov.
Dimitrov.
Second serve coming. Nadal has only won 4 of 11 second serve points in the match. 3 of 10 in this set. Well, the streak has been broken, at least in terms of sets won by Nadal, as the Bulgarian has won this set. One set remains to see if Nadal's win streak can ultimately be broken.
Well, pause for breath, hold your breath, because it's the 7th set he's lost here in his 8 years. This is 9th year going for number 9 as we see the numbers for that set. Second serve points run. Nadal punished on that second serve. We talked about that this week, haven't we? And Dimitrov did a good job in that set of really getting after the second serve. Winners just 11, unforced errors 15, double the amount of unforced errors in the second set from the first from Nadal, and it is game on here in Monte Carlo. Something we're not always accustomed to saying when Nadal's in action. So people are choking on their salmon here at the Monte Carlo Country Club because we're level. Didn't expect this, many of the people here. We didn't either, to be fair. Full house. It'll be our 6th set of the day already. Arvin Palmer has stepped back in to the box alongside myself, Nick Lester. A bit of a breather for Sam Gore. What do you make of that set? If you saw any of it, indeed.
Well, I saw bits of it actually while trying to get a baguette down me. Yeah, it was quite interesting to see the way that Dimitrov continued trying to junk Nadal around using the slice and the drop shot. Good use of the drop shot again, and I think there's an obvious sign of Nadal's level dropping. And credit to this man, he stepped up and executed his game quite nicely. More of the same in the third for him as far as the game plan is concerned, but Nadal is going to be a little bit concerned with the drop in his performance and needs to just up it again.
For me, definitely, and I don't know if you agree, and a point I made earlier on, his clay court game, Nadal's, is least effective in conditions like they are today, because it is chilly out here right now. It's cool, it's cold, the ball is not going to get as much off the court as it has done in previous days. Are you with me there?
Yeah,
or?
well, me and Sam were actually mentioning that in the first set. I said to Sam, I think that the best chance for the top guys, we're specifically talking about Djokovic, really, and Murray and those type players, were that best chance to beat him is heavy, wet conditions, because that ball just doesn't react off the court as well. It doesn't jump up. You've just got that fraction more time on the ball, and it is cool conditions out here today. There's a fair bit of moisture in the air, and I don't think the ball is reacting as violently as you get used to when watching Nadal.
Well, this is his 45th match, Nadal, since he last lost here to Guillermo Coria in 2003. And the man in your picture has taken just the 7th set off him in that time.
Dernière manche, au service.
After a bathroom break,
Dimitrov.
as he regrouped on settle.
Love 15.
Those chances in Indian Wells, didn't he? Led Djokovic in the first set 4-1. Also had chances against Murray in Miami. Just double faulted at crucial moments in both of those matches. It's only the 7th time, in fact, Nadal's been pushed to a third set here in all the years, and he's 5-1 here at the club, Monte Carlo Country Club, when he's gone the distance. Only loss was to Guillermo Coria. He was in a 5-setter in 2003.
Pronta, 30.
It's a very average return, isn't it?
Unforced errors keep climbing for Nadal. 15 in the last set.
to hold for the Bulgarian. He's off to one love lead. Just trying to highlight the differences really between the first and second set and look for clues as to where it changed. You can see set number 1 here for Nadal. Look at the length, pretty good length he's keeping, both on the one down the line and more often than not, of course, the one cross court. Majority of the balls landing 3/4 of the way out the court. Second set, not just shorter, but you can see how many times he was drawn in by that little slice of Dimitrov's. Quite a few balls he's having to hit. He's hitting short. What difference between where the ball is bouncing off the Nadal forehand. Much shorter at times. Therefore, of course, less effective. Super backhand from Nadal.
In many ways, that was the best shot Dimitrov got in that rally. Was that powerful shot out to the backhand of Nadal's, but Nadal's so good at just counter punching, injecting a little pace of his own.
Still a long way to go in this match, isn't there? But the way things are looking, as we see Nadal's worried and anxious looking girlfriend Zizka.
Service.
I don't know if he's still dating Maria Sharapova. Some talk that he is or he isn't, but if he is, he's doing it for her today because it's her birthday today, Maria Sharapova. Wherever she may be in the world. It's Manhattan Beach, at home maybe in California, who knows.
Car 40-30.
Tremendous forehand on the run from the Bulgarian, but Nadal was alive to it that time.
One game on.
Just looks a little unsteady at the moment. Nadal needs to settle down and start his third.
You can see there Dimitrov improving his year-end Emirates ATP ranking in each of the past 5 years. It's been an impressive rise from him. Staggering rally. Sensational tennis at the Monte Carlo Country Club. Dimitrov is giving Nadal one hell of a fight here.
Well, has defended so well throughout the course of this match, Dimitrov. Not giving an inch and almost bluffed Nadal there on that last one. Pushed it nice and deep. Perhaps Nadal expecting the drop shot after that one.
Tough.
Rules are rules.
Oh, yes. It may have taken a couple of extra seconds, but that's a nice way to react.
Yeah, and if this time rule hadn't been implemented as well as it has been at the start of this year, a couple of years ago, Dimitrov would have maybe blown his top there.
Ranking set to rise as well. Dimitrov, we mentioned earlier on how it has. He can win or lose this match. He'll be inside the top 30, somewhere around 26, 27 we expect if he does lose this match today. Bearing in mind he started the year, Dimitrov, at 48.
45.
Tremendous stuff from the 21-year-old. Is this his coming out party here? It might well be. It's been threatening for a while. He leads 2-1 final set.
Two games to 1.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant performance up till now for Dimitrov. Moving beautifully. Given the opportunities, he's attacked well. Clean strike of the ball, good timer of the ball. Really has developed this game that is all court. He can grind if he needs to and come to the net. Extremely agile as well. How low he gets down to this one. Look at that, right knee on the ground.
How many games? 6.
And here, as I say, having lost to Andy Murray in Miami, having lost to Djokovic in Indian Wells. Chances in both those. So the semi-finals in Rotterdam, as we see the green, red and white of the Bulgarian flag. Worked a lot on his fitness. In an interview here a couple of days ago, he said in December he spent a lot of time with the free weights. Just changed it up a little bit with Dimitrov, trying to use free weights a little bit more.
Assez à vous.
What would that do physically?
I think strength through range of motion, really, kind of using the dumbbells and bench press and things like that. It's, you know, you're having to control the balance of it rather than using machines that's really done for you. That's all about just if you can hold and lift that weight, but controlling it as well is a added kind of discipline to it all.
Two-one, final set. Didn't quite cover it.
We talked about the depth of the forehand from Nadal. That one right in the corner. Put the brakes on just in time.
Back edge of the line, that one.
30 love.
That sort of afternoon for Uncle Tony.
Montecarlo. 40-15.
Well, he's a little fortunate there, in my opinion. It's just not hurting Dimitrov at the moment, is he, really, in that exchange? He had to wait for Dimitrov to miss.
Looks as if that ball just isn't reacting off the surface for him at the moment. It's so used to watching that ball kind of just kick off that clay, and Dimitrov just plenty of time. Nothing between them at the minute. 60 points each.
He's got him again. Nadal can't believe it. Has a long look down towards his team. He knows that volley really wasn't good enough.
Well, I'm not sure what Dimitrov is apologising for after this shot.
15 love.
That's a great bit of skill. Maybe just is it a little bit of a miss hit?
Full credit to this man.
A little fortunate to get away with that one. Dimitrov. Central.
13 love.
Error that smacks of just a lack of belief right now from Nadal. Just a little unsure of things. Remains that way. It's been 10 years since Nadal lost here. Dimitrov is 3 games away beating the Spaniard.
I suppose the test now for Dimitrov is does he believe? He's got himself in a great situation, a situation he would most definitely sign on the dotted line before he started this match, to be on serve in the third. 3 games away from victory. It's one thing getting yourself in that situation, but getting over the line is another. Bet your bottom dollar Nadal is going to try his utmost to not let that happen.
Time.
Decent, very decent guy, Grigor Dimitrov. He's smart, he's bright, he's intelligent, speaks well. Spent a bit of time, of course, living in Paris. He's been away from his home for a long time, training in Barcelona for a little bit as well. He was under Patrice Mouratoglou's guide for a while before moving to Scandinavia to train there.
Merci à vous, s'il vous plaît. Merci. Prenez place rapidement. Les joueurs sont prêts. Merci. Mademoiselle, s'il vous plaît, any seat for now.
A few people again,
Merci.
just arriving a little late. There we are.
Kenzie. 15 love. S'il vous plaît, Amazon.
Trademark Nadal play, getting good width and spin off the serve to create some court space for himself. So often when you're behind against this guy in a rally, as we so often say, it's impossible almost to get it back.
just another short forehand from Nadal, and he's punished. Not sure what Dimitrov there is
30-15.
pointing at a mark. I thought the serve was out.
The ball length off the return.
30-30.
So yeah, just about on the money, Nadal. That's the limit, 25 seconds.
Net, premier service.
Such a good return there from Dimitrov, right on the baseline.
40-30.
His coach, Mikael Tidström, looking a
You
little
know him,
anxious.
you know him pretty well, don't you?
Yeah.
Stop.
Dimitrov powered away from that forehand, but it was called it seen the ball wide as Mohammed strides down.
Yeah.
Firm it was. Nadal needs a bit of convincing.
Not match, no poke.
Just a little bit, he says.
Good aggressive play from Nadal. Took the ball by the horns there, a couple of backhands. You could just see, gave them a little extra.
Avantage. Nadal.
Sensing it's not the time to sit back.
There to be hit, and he's just pulled it wide.
Nadal.
It's a missed opportunity.
3 jeux partout. 3 games all.
Well, you feel once again Nadal a little bit fortunate. It's, a lot of those points were being dictated by Dimitrov. He's the one that's trying to make something happen.
S'il vous plaît, asseyez-vous, merci. Les joueurs sont prêts. Merci beaucoup. 11h, s'il vous plaît, merci.
Well, there's a few people above Nadal who are getting a little overexcited, I think, and they've just come in a bit late again. It's the same gentleman.
Kenzie 0, 15 love.
Seventh ace of the match for Dimitrov. Nadal's man just won today. a slice that didn't really do a lot, but it just changed the pace.
40-0.
Caused Rafa all sorts of problems in this match, just over-spinning that forehand over the top of the ball.
Grigor Dimitrov, seemingly the better player right now. He's up in the final set. No breaks. But the young man is 4-3 ahead.
Dimitrov mène 4 jeux à 3, 4 games to 3. We lost 1 ball. We have 5 now. It's only 2 games. 2 games.
So hold your breath. Deep breathing required here.
Time.
Because Rafa Nadal, who hasn't lost in 10 years at this venue, going for number 9 in a row. Remember, he had a year away when he got injured. Finds himself in real trouble. A man who has owned this event for the last 8 years. Hasn't been this close to losing here since 2005, I'm reliably informed. Fairly relaxed, isn't he, on the outside? Nice little smile.